Well, I'm finally getting ready to decorate my family room for Christmas and to set up my Christmas tree. I have never waited this long to put up my tree. On the day of filming, it was already December 11th, and I have never waited this long. Of course, setting up the tree always involves shuffling some furniture around. So I'm going to have to move this chair and this little table to make room for the tree. Up until 3 years ago, we always bought a real tree. But 3 years ago, my husband and I became empty nesters, and we just realized how much work it was to go to the lot, get the tree, put it on top of the car, bring it home, then have to deal with all of the mess, all the cleanup afterwards. And even though I do love a real tree, I just thought that at our time of life that it was just more practical for us to go the artificial route. Of course, our sons were horrified when we told them that we were no longer getting a real tree, but even they had to admit, when they actually saw this tree all decorated, that it looks pretty good for an artificial tree. So we bought this tree from Lowe's 3 years ago, and it was on deep discount. I believe it was almost $500 regular price, but by the time we bought it, it had been marked down to $250. It is a 7-foot tree, and it comes pre-lit, which for me is a huge plus because I think that's everyone's least favorite part of putting up the tree is just winding those lights around all of those branches. And it doesn't come with any, remotes or anything like that. It's just a very easy switch that you step on to turn on the lights, and you step on it again to turn them off, which is perfect for me. I do like to fluff the tree branches as I go along. So this tree comes in 3 sections, and I fluff, and then when I feel like all the branches got all the fluffing that they needed, I go ahead and I add the other sections. So here is my container of ornaments. Yes, this is all of them. I don't have a lot of ornaments, and that is by choice. I just really want to limit the amount of items that I have to store, and I've decided that this is really pretty much all I need. So I have some balls, I have some ornaments that my children made when they were in school. I have some little metallic stars and reindeer. And then I also have some Santas and other figurines. I read that there's actually a formula for how many ornaments your tree should have based on the height of the tree. So for example, if your tree is 7 feet tall, you should have this number of ornaments. Well, I can tell you that my tree definitely does not comply with that. And really, who sits around thinking up these formulas? This is just a Christmas tree. It's not a mathematical equation. So my method for decorating the tree is just to put on my favorite ornaments first, the ones that I really want to take center stage, and then I'll layer the other items in, and I leave the balls for last. I don't put any ornaments on the back of the tree. I don't have enough ornaments to do that, and besides, they wouldn't get seen anyways. To add some interest to the tree and to make up for the lack of ornaments, I'm going to be making some burgundy velvet bows to put on the tree. And I don't have a lot of ribbon left, but I think I have enough to make enough bows to make the tree look a little bit more decorated. And the best part about these ribbon bows is that they're easy to store, they hardly take up any room, and they can be used from year to year. If you watched my Christmas thrifting video, I'm sure you remember this little sled that I purchased from Goodwill for $4.99, and my plan was to display it next to the tree with gifts in it. But it's really not that big, so what I decided to do instead is I decided to put this skin inside to cover the bottom. The bottom was a little bit stained. And then I used some gift boxes. I actually don't have any gifts wrapped yet, so these are just props. But I used some gift boxes that I also thrifted. And I found the sweetest little bear just a few days ago from Goodwill for $3.99. And he has this very sweet burgundy velvet cape on. And I thought he would look really cute inside the sled. Besides putting up the Christmas tree, the only other place that I really decorate is the mantle. And this is because there's already a lot going on in this room. I have the gallery wall, I have these bookshelves on either side of the fireplace that have books and decor. So I don't want to make things too busy or busier than they already are. So I'm going to just stick with decorating the mantle, the Christmas tree, popping some other little very subtle Christmas touches around the room, and that's basically it. This year I'm going to be using my nutcracker collection on the mantle. And I'm using the term collection loosely because there are only 5 of them. But they do have a lot of sentimental value to me. The oldest one dates back to 2002, and it was a nutcracker that my son asked me to buy for him. So every few years, we would add another one to the collection. So this is the perfect place to display them because they're tall enough that they can be seen easily from the kitchen, which is the room adjoining the family room. And I just think that nutcrackers and Christmas, they're such an iconic traditional Christmas decoration that I really love to include them in such a prominent place. I love using a string of fairy lights to decorate the garland and also to highlight the nutcrackers and the topiaries that I have on either side. And this string of fairy lights, it's like on a copper wire, which means that you can bend it and manipulate it. It's quite long, so I'm able to wrap it around the nutcrackers and the urns and go all the way to the other side and come back so that I have another source of light besides the Christmas tree lights. And I really love how when the lights are dim, these just kind of hover over the decorations of the mantle like fireflies and give a really magical look to the mantle decorations. Because the garland that I'm using on the mantle is rather sparse, I decided to add some real greenery to make it fuller and to also give that illusion that it is a real garland. So I just clipped some branches from my backyard and I'm just adding them in. And the last thing I do is I like to switch out the pillows on my sectional. I usually keep the 3 tan pillows on the couch year round, but then I like to bring in these other pillows with the paisley pattern. I just love the jewel tones of the paisleys, and the colors really complement the sectional and the Persian rug that we have on the floor very well.